welcome. Well, you're in for a treat again tonight. I have done a series, an ongoing series, with the Teachers of the Year for Minnesota, and we've had some great ones. I'm just really pleased to introduce you to this year's 2024 teacher, Tracy Byrd. And he has, I think, a fascinating sort of evolution to getting to be a teacher here at Washburn Senior High. And so I'm going to just quit talking so we can meet Tracy, and I think you'll really enjoy him. So welcome, Mr. Tracy Byrd.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. First question is, did you have family members who were educators or urging you to think teaching?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I had never seen teachers after school. My friends weren't talking about education. This clearly it's out of left field.
So that was a unique kind of a connected piece here, and adds to the story, doesn't it?
I got lucky.
You got lucky. But before you got lucky, you went into business finance. Mm-hmm. So did you major in college in, what did you major in?
College was business administration.
Oh, sure.
I didn't do well at UND. I attempted twice. Both times were not successful. And my mindset was I just wanted to play sports. Like there was nothing else I wanted to do at school. And when I found out that you needed to go to class and maintain a GPA, like I said, it didn't work out well. So then I found myself at Normandale Community College, and that didn't work out well either.
But you kept attempting in a way then, didn't you?
I did, but then that's when I went into business. After that,
okay.
I just talked with a friend of mine who was hiring. The strangest thing, I never knew the difference between a stock and a bond when I was working at Piper Jaffray. So I had to really teach myself this business. And I think that's where the love of learning started and just kept me going throughout school.
That's really, really interesting. I know one of the things you wrote about, I think in your essay for the award you've gotten, was about experiential learning. Mm-hmm. And how you feel the kids learn better if they experience something. So in a way, that's what you did, right?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And then I was able to take those lessons and then bring them into the classroom, because what we know is not all of the students are going to go to college. Some are going to go off to the workforce. So,
sure.
I mean, just having done different things, I can relate to them on a different wavelength.
Sure. Yeah, I think sometimes that makes the very best teacher or the very best counselor, someone who's gone through some hard stuff or some, non-traditional route stuff.
I tell the students day one, first of all, there's nothing they can do inside of the school that I haven't thought about or have done, because I'm a graduate of Minneapolis Washburn, 1989. So I've done everything in this building, so don't try to do that. And then two, I've done so many things on my route to becoming a teacher that I can give you plenty of advice of what to skip.
And
this is gonna cause more headache than what it's worth. Trust me. Just keep your eye on this prize and head towards it. So
that sounds really good, and I'm sure some kids will be like, "Yes, sir. Yes, I will listen to you." Other kids are kind of like, "Oh, he says that to all of his classes." How can you tell when you're giving them some of your best advice, which ones are taking it in, and which kids are maybe sort of ho-hum about it?
No. I mean, because some of them look like they're taking it in, and it's kind of like, okay, this is a slam dunk, they're going to be great, and then turns out that they won't, and others that look like they weren't even paying attention at all are the ones that can come back and then literally recite what I said like back
Oh,
to
wow.
me. Yeah. So it's I give it to everyone, and when they say, "Here's Byrd again," I bet he says this to all of his classes. I do, because I don't know which one of you
Sure, it's
this is
going to.
for. Right. So I have to give it all.
The seed is planted, and you don't know which one will grow, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. So, and what a reward when they come back. I mean, that is pretty rare for most teachers, I believe.
It is.
Yeah.
Now I'll head different places, and I'll see. Just last night at the last Friday night football game, one of the young men I used to coach at Wayzata was one of the refs out on the
Oh.
field. So I mean, he had gone on to high school, went on to college. He's got a family. I mean, that's the reward, is when they become fathers and dads, and they work in the community, and or moms and wives, and
And you get to brush shoulders with them
yeah,
again.
it's like, look at you, like, look at you.
Oh, that's neat. There's something about the benefit of staying in an area that you get that you wouldn't get if you moved to California or Chicago or wherever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm born and raised in South Minneapolis, so like this is, I see the students I went to high school with, I am now teaching their children.
Oh, their children.
So it's
I was thinking, are these some of the kids who dropped out and they've come back? No.
So it's one of
Their
those
children.
being in the neighborhood. It's
Oh, that really even is better, isn't
Right.
it? Oh, that's great. I am guessing that a lot of you listening are really curious, like I am, as to what went into your decision to take this pretty big left or right turn into teaching from, you worked at Piper Jaffray, one of the cool places to work if you're in finance. What was the process of making the big switch
Well, working at Piper was a big switch.
from what you had been doing?
I mean, I had done everything. I mean, I was leasing apartments. I did janitorial work. I was a groundskeeper. I mean, I was a UPS.
You've done it all.
Did it all, because I didn't want to do school. And so once
could I make it work without
right.
school?
And a friend of mine had an in at Piper, so I was good there. But then when Piper was bought out by UBS, now I'm back in the same boat of without a degree, need a different job.
And people that you don't know.
So I was like, I called a buddy of mine, and he was like, come work at Wayzata with me. He's a teacher out there, and he's like, I can get you in, and you can become a hall monitor. And I'm like, okay, I'll, because I haven't worked with children since Vacation Bible School. So I was,
Oh, wow.
okay.
Goes back a ways.
But then when I started walking the hallways and just kept meeting different students, and we were it's easier to make a relationship in the hallway because a lot of students want to be in the hallway, right?
Right.
So I was like, this is actually a good place to be. And so I kind of just looked at that, and it was kind of like entry-level job, and just moved my way up. And as I got closer to becoming a teacher, or kind of maxing out the hall monitor position, because I've been there a couple years, the principal was like, you're going to go back to school and you're going to be a teacher.
Oh, that was a turning point, perhaps.
That was it. And I was like,
wow.
no, I'm not.
You were still resisting,
Still resisting.
Okay.
I would see her coming down the hall.
The principal?
The principal, and I would turn and go the other way.
Oh, so she wouldn't have
Because it's
contact.
like, either she's going to ask me, have I registered for class?
Oh, gosh.
And I either have to say yes and lie, or say no and tell the truth and then
hurt her
So
feelings, right?
I finally just decided. I enrolled. They supported me. I was taking classes and doing my homework during the day, and I mean at night, and
They being the
school
out in Wayzata. Okay.
I mean, they were
That would be
very supportive.
very helpful. Another, in a sense, I mean, major influence.
And then I could show the students, I could, model it. Like, this is what it looked, I mean, you see me studying, and I know you want to wait until the last second to do your work. Like, just work on it as soon as you get it. Everything seems hard now, but you'll be able to, when you look back on it, the sacrifice that you had given is going to be worth it. Like, you can do this. And so a lot of the kids that were having trouble with school kind of gravitated to that, kind of like, well, if he can do it, I know I can do it. And it's like, yeah, there's nothing special here. So if I can do it, you know you can do it.
Well, something special, but not maybe in the way you were expecting. So I'm curious, and I'm sure the viewers are too, how old were you when you did end up in the teaching world in a job-wise way?
Mid-30s, 36, 37.
Okay. So, and you've been in the field quite a while, right?
Quite a while.
And he's not only teaching English related classes, he is the coach of the boys football team up until this year. And he's the coach of the girls and boys track team.
Yes.
So that's a lot of extra hours with the kids.
It is, but again, it's something that I love doing it. Like, I really, honestly can't see myself doing.
Yeah, you get hooked into that, don't you?
I am all in. All in.
I can imagine.
Miller pride.
As a fan of high school sports, I agree. It's very addictive. In your work as a teacher, I just have to quickly ask, what is your focus as a English teacher? Is it literature? Is it grammar? Is it?
It's more communications than the grammar. We do, but I just want to. How do we communicate as humans, as human beings, where I can share space with you, not harm in the space. I can have my thoughts and they're valid. I can express them to you, but not in a way that's going to be combative. Just that we can, again,
do
we can share.
Need that nowadays? That sounds wonderful. So how to disagree and do it in a way that's not disruptive, right?
Right. Because it's not so much me versus you as it's I have one idea and you might have a different idea, and so now where can we find the common ground in our ideas? Is there common ground? I mean, but we have to be able to talk about it first.
Right. And sometimes I think you may not, it's a thought I've had, you may not have common ground with the topic or the issue, but if you both understand the strong feelings that you have, that's another connector in a way, don't you think?
Because then I know where you're coming from. I know why you're thinking what you're thinking.
Right.
And that is good enough. Because like you said, if we don't have the common ground, then we don't have it.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. When you got your award, I read your essay, read the application, and the whole theme of access jumped out as a really big theme. And again, that's kind of hard to grasp just when you hear that word. I mean, that's a broad word. How do you put that into kind of a summary?
It's one of those things where it changes as it needs to change. Some tables around some dinner tables, there are certain dinner conversations, and around others, there's not the same conversation. So again, I try to have, when they're in the room, we just talk about everything. I mean, and we can weave that into literature, because I mean, we read our books to find, how can I use this as a window to what I'm seeing right now? How can I use this as a mirror to see who I am right now? So it's just that type of access. I try to get, like I said, for everyone.
So if your kids are reading Moby Dick or Pride and Prejudice, helping them see the parallels between time there and now.
Right. And so have we matured as a country? Do we still have do the same thoughts still resonate now that were there in that text? If so, why? Have they changed at all? I mean, and that's the kind of conversations we have, because again, it goes back to, well, this is what I know from my neighborhood experience, and somebody else will say, well, this is what I know from my home experience.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're just having discourse about it.
Do the kids handle the differences in the classroom, and then you can give some feedback?
That's the biggest, what I found out the biggest thing with teaching is getting out of the way, like letting them learn and do and fumble and create, and just giving some guidance, but getting out of the way and let them do. So they can have the conversations, they can host the conversations, they can facilitate their conversations. I'm just lucky enough to be there to witness and hear their conversations.
And if you see someone dominating or getting confrontive, do you call them right on the spot?
From the beginning, when I set up the whole, this is how the conversation is going to go, I tell them we have to practice the art of deference. If two of us are going to speak at the same time, one of us has to defer to the other person and just let the other person go. And then when they're finished, now you can just jump right in because you did have a thought. But these are skills that if they're not taught, how are they going to learn them?
Right. That sounds so practical and so wise, Tracy. And I think back to my college and high school, especially days, teachers were not brave enough to let the kids lead in any way. I mean, we were, subjects, and they were royalty. And so it's really, really changed.
I try to put more on them, build the capacity inside of them, teach them. I mean, it's going to be scary for you to raise your hand. It's going to be scary for you to put your voice in the space. It is. But this is such a safe space created for this thing that you have to try it. Because when you leave here, not going to be safe space created for you, and you're going to have to know how to get your voice into that space. Because now it's going to count.
Did you gradually sort of evolve into it?
Gradually evolved.
Okay.
I mean, I walked in, and of course, day one, it's my room. I have to, but that's exhausting. It's easier to let them do the lifting, let them do the carrying, let them do the work. I have to make sure things are set up and parameters are in place, but it's their education. I was already lucky enough to walk across. It's their education, so they have to get dirty and do the work.
Well, that sounds, really, really great. Do you find any gender differences in terms of the kids being willing to share and open up?
I found different classes because I have one class where I do have a lot of boys that if I say I need a volunteer, hands go up, and it's all the boys. And then I'll have another class need volunteers, and then those gentlemen are sitting back, and it's all women that are like raising their hands.
Okay.
So it's not like in the classroom, it's almost like they know who's in charge.
Do you, because you are coaching and have coached a lot of the kids that you probably have in class, has that been an asset to your teaching?
I see them in a different light.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So it's
Right.
easier to carry on a conversation that might have happened in class into a different atmosphere and let it breathe there. It's more received. Same thing, they can ask something at practice about school, or then they can ask something about in school, ask something about practice. So it's giving them another chance to approach me, where if they're not an athlete, we have to carve out time.
You have to kind of work at
Right.
it more, right? Yeah.
They might have something going on after school, you know, and we both have to figure out like how this is going to work. But if they're an athlete, I know they're going to be there. They know I'm going to be there. And
So that is a benefit, isn't it? A lot of you may know that, you know, people on camera are getting cues. I'm getting them from my floor director here. And I have 5 minutes left, so I've got like enough questions for another hour. But I want to ask you quickly, our school system is under a lot of attack from a lot of directions. And do you have any kind of like, oh, if we could only do this, thoughts, it would work so much better?
I do. I feel if we're here for kids and we're doing things that's what's best for the students, what we know are some students have after school obligations that are not extracurricular. That
Second
are
jobs.
Second jobs, taking care of the family, making sure to get little brother or sister off the bus, I mean, all of these things. So if we know that they have these things and we already have the school day set up, I think more class time is better. So the periodization of 7 classes and quickly getting a math and then a science and then a social studies and then an art and then a gym. Block scheduling allows a class to go longer and just take fewer classes during the day. If we know the student has things that they need to, responsibilities after school, why not give them more time during school? So instead of a class being 55 minutes, the class is 90 minutes. And so in this 90 minutes, the teacher is able to teach the content, deliver it, and the student is able to work on the skill, and if there is homework, turn it in and not have to worry about taking it home that night.
That would also give you a chance to deal with procrastination kind of issues.
Exactly, because they're still there in front of the teacher. If there's the one student that doesn't like to ask questions right away, class has started. The ones that do like to ask questions right away will come in right away, get their questions answered, go off and do their work, and now it's easier to go one-on-one to the more reserved, the quiet ones, and again, still give them what they need in that time period that they don't have to go home and then fall further behind.
But I have a but. How do you get all the material covered that way?
Well, because you're there longer in one class period, you don't need as many class sessions.
Oh.
Because the time is still going to be the time.
So then you'd have a semester or a quarter with 2 or maybe 3 subjects at that hour.
Exactly.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's just a different way of thinking about the system that we have right now that we know is failing. Like we know it's not working. But yet we still keep doing it. Well, let's find another one that doesn't work. And then we can always come back to this one. We know what we're going to get.
Could you do that within your school if that's not a approved method for the department? I mean, the city's.
There are some inside of Minneapolis that are already working under that model, and some that aren't. So now it's just interesting to see kind of what does the data say between those schools.
Oh, I would like to maybe have you back sometime and explore that, because that to me sounds like a real win-win.
Exactly.
Really interesting. Charter schools, we've got about a minute and a half.
Okay.
Your take on charter schools and their troubles right now?
You know, I mean, it's hard. I appreciate any type of school that's going to come out and try to help. We know this is hard. Like it's hard work, and to find adults who are dedicated and willing to go through the process of getting the certifications, it's hard.
Well, it's real hard. It's not a quick and easy deal, is
right.
it? Well, as I said, I wish we had more time, Tracy, but I can see why you're the 2024 Teacher of the Year for our state. and I think you've got a lot of kids who are very lucky learning from you. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much
Thank you.
for coming down and educating me and the viewers. I'm sorry with this funny voice today, and told him I don't have a cold, but it sounds like I do. Well, have a great week, have a great year, and thank you again.
Thank you. You too.
For joining us.
This was fun.
Thank you for joining us too. Wasn't he an interesting, fun guest? Yeah, I agree. See you maybe again when we can talk about Black learning.
I'm in for that.
Okay, good. Have a good week. Bye-bye.